Disney's Snow White live-action remake starring Rachel Zegler finally comes out this week, and after a disastrous PR campaign leading up to its release, audiences will soon get a chance to see for themselves just how good or bad this movie really is. And while Disney apparently know that they have a stinker on their hands, and they just want to get the entire release over with, as some type of Hail Mary pass, they seem to have activated some of their most loyal access media shills, in hopes of conjuring up some last-minute positive buzz for the movie. In this video, we're going to be discussing Disney's last-minute marketing strategy for Snow White, early reviews for the movie, and also just how reliable or unreliable these reviews are. But before we begin, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel, as it would really help my channel grow. As we've seen several times in recent years when Disney know that they're about to release an embarrassing flop, they usually have a go-to game plan. For starters, they place an embargo on reviews until the very last minute so that moviegoers won't have a clue if the movie is good or not until it's actually released. Then, they invite a select group of Disney-friendly, critics to watch the movie at a special, early, exclusive VIP screening with the cast and crew. And finally, Disney allow and even encourage their approved critics to post their reactions on social media, which are almost always extremely positive for some reason. To put it simply, I believe this strategy gives Disney the ability to filter out any bad reviews and control the narrative surrounding the movie's quality until after some poor suckers have already bought the tickets to see it. Now, let's look at some of these glowing social media reviews from people who I consider to be major shills, like Matt DeGroot.
Despite becoming an internet punching bag, Disney's remake of Snow White is actually mostly successful. Rachel Zegler is an absolute star. Most of the new songs are catchy and beautifully performed, and the visual palette is sumptuous and vibrant.
I mean, who even talks like that?
Gal Gadot has beautiful gowns. Bonus points awarded for Snow White herself for being a non-violent, anti-fascist hero.
Now, since this last sentence seemed rather political to me, it made me curious to learn more about this Matt DeGroot guy. And if we take a closer look at his profile, it appears that Matt is a vice president at a company called Crooked Media, which, according to Wikipedia, is an American progressive political media company that was founded in 2017 by former top Barack Obama staffers. So basically, if we're being honest, this person has a very clear political agenda aligned with Disney, which would probably explain why they trusted him to see this movie and post about it. Next, we have Ash Crossan of Screen Rant, who says,
Despite the ba being all over the place, Snow White is quite charming. The message lands well.
I wonder what part of this movie's messaging she loves so much.
She's not going to be safe with the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love.
Critters are adorable, and Rachel Zegler and her enchanting voice are stunning. It almost got a full tear out of me, and I've never cried in my entire life.
Yeah, okay, so she's kind of a weirdo too. And if you were thinking to yourself that Ash Crossan's name sounds rather familiar, you may have caught her hosting a special broadcast for Disney recently, where she interviewed the cast and crew of Andor, which was then posted on Disney's official Star Wars YouTube channel. I guess what I'm saying here is that this lady either received an actual check from Disney at some point for the gig she did, or if nothing else, she receives unlimited access to Disney's casts and crews, which means that she too probably isn't very objective. Next, we have another Disney cherry-picked movie critic called Christopher Rates It on X, who barely has any online presence at all, and unsurprisingly, he really loved this movie.
The biggest surprise of 2025 is that the most controversial and most hated film of the year is actually a decent live-action remake. Snow White is not only one of the best live-action remakes in years, but it's also a film that recaptures the magic of the 1937 movie. Rachel Zegler is Snow White, and she delivers such a magical performance. The musical numbers are unforgettable. The visuals, not the uncanny dwarves, are enchanting.
So that means the dwarves don't look good.
And Aaron Cressida Wilson's screenplay provides depth to this world that I didn't know was needed.
Man, no sane person talks like this. I'm really sorry. Like, even if the movie is good, this is way over the top. Next, we have Tim, MCJL, who also barely has any followers or subscribers online, and of course, he was thrilled about the movie as well.
Rachel Zegler stuns in Snow White. With a vocal range crafted by the gods, she shines magic, charm, and beauty into this spinful reimagining of Disney's 1937 classic, with Gal Gadot serving as a cartoonishly fun and whimsical portrayal of the evil queen.
I mean, isn't the evil queen supposed to be evil?
An exploration of one's own heroism through a pure heart and a swift runtime shapes Snow White into one of Disney's strongest retellings yet, and a bona fide family crowd pleaser.
Then we have Paul Klein, who's an editor at Filmhounds magazine, another relatively small publication that got an invite to Disney's special event.
I may regret saying this, but Snow White is solid.
I mean, why would he regret saying that, right?
I really enjoyed the musical numbers, particularly the one with the Queen's evil bop. Zegler was great in the lead role, and Godot was fun. It's really the CGI dwarves that let the film down. The choice is baffling.
So it's curious that even this guy, who had every reason to go full shill, has difficulty saying that the CGI dwarves look good, which likely means that they probably are just as awful as we all think that they are. But the icing on the cake comes from Katzy Stefan of Variety magazine, who posted a positive tweet about the movie too.
Rachel Zegler is a shining supernova in Snow White, beautifully embodying the graceful, gentle nature of the OG Disney princess. It's a visual feast with show-stopping, new musical numbers and, of course, dozens of enchanting animated animals. The screenplay wisely gives its heroine newfound depth through her fervent desire to become the leader her father believed she could be.
Now, if that quote sounds familiar to you, do you remember what Rachel Zegler had said about this movie?
She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
So Katzy seems to have gotten all the right talking points for this review. And if you want to see how the Disney PR machine works, look at what Variety then did. It published an article called Snow White First Reactions Praise Film as a Visual Feast and one of Disney's best live-action remakes in years. And of course, the article included the Twitter review from their very own reporter, Katzy Stefan, as well as a few of the other reviews that I mentioned in this video. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how Disney, in spite of a supposed embargo, get positive reviews in the press with the very people that they seemingly have nurtured and pampered now singing their praises.
Weird.
But while this type of apparent manipulation is obviously annoying, there is a silver lining here. Very soon, Disney's Snow White, starring Rachel Zegler, comes out and nothing Disney can do or say will be able to hide their failure at the box office, because they have already reportedly spent about $500 million producing and marketing this movie, and since they only receive a portion of the ticket sales from theaters, Disney now need to make at least $1.25 billion at the worldwide box office on this movie just to break even, and the chance of that happening is extremely unlikely. In fact, at this rate, they'll be lucky to even make back a third of the amount that was invested in this movie. But if you want to receive exclusive updates about this movie and others, please make sure to like and subscribe so that you always get notified when there's new developments. Thanks for watching, my friends. Thank you, and good day.
I am such an awesome guy. I make so many videos.